Okay, so yeah, I just started the recording. So if you guys have any questions, please just post it in the group chat. But how's it gonna work is I guess Chris is gonna do run through the product search module in Tactical Arbitrage for the first 45 minutes, and then the second half of it will be dedicated to Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, post it, and then maybe Dix and I can just collect some of the questions for later. But Chris, it's all yours. Do you want to maybe just give everybody an introduction of yourself and
Sure. So my name's Chris Grant. I help run a couple of Facebook groups, and some of you might be on my email list or maybe read my blog a little bit. But I also do a ton of training with Tactical Arbitrage, and I get probably 20, 30 PMs a day about questions regarding Tactical Arbitrage. So over the past year and a half, or maybe year and 3/4, I have learned Tactical Arbitrage like the back of my hand, and I like to think that I know it better than anybody but Alex. So yeah,
I think that's a pretty safe assumption to make based off all like the videos and stuff I've seen and your coaching stuff and your course for sure.
well, I appreciate that. I work hard. I really try to keep up with it, and then of course Alex does, let me see things a little bit ahead of time, so I know what's on the horizon, and I can keep up and share with people, because I try to be a good teacher, because I think this is a powerful software, and we're nowhere near being saturated in the market yet. So yeah, let's dig in, you guys. I am not Canadian. I have thought about doing some buying from Canada, and I know that there's a shipping company that will ship to the States. Um, because I could corner the market on the ketchup flavored chips down here.
All dressed
But
chips too.
that's right. Well, we have those now.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, but we will take a look at Canada now. Do most people in Canada, are they sourcing in Canada and selling on Amazon or on .com, or are they sourcing in Canada and selling in Canada?
You know what? I think we have a kind of a wide variety, like good mix of both, just like Dan just said.
Okay.
Yep,
We
I would
we
agree.
have yeah, we have people who are just starting out. We have people with already they have tactical arbitrage accounts and they're just not making best use out of it. They're not maximizing it to its potential. And I think we have a good mix of people selling on .ca and .com.
Okay. So I'm going to source tonight. I'll show you guys sourcing from Canada and selling on .com. I'll be honest with you, I think you guys have a little bit of an advantage over the stateside sellers, because it's a heck of a lot easier to source in Canada, even though it does cost a little bit more to get everything down here. And if I wanted to source in Canada to sell on .com, I know that I would end up having to ship it to my house with a shipping company and all that stuff. But you guys, if anybody uses prep centers, it'd also be super easy to source in the U.S. and sell on the U.S. Marketplace as well. And so you guys get to use all the Canadian sites and all the U.S. sites, because unfortunately you guys are extremely limited on the Canadian sites. But let's dig in. So I'm going to figure that we've got some people in here who have never touched product search before. So I'm just going to kind of do exactly what I do in my trainings, teach everybody from left to right, top to bottom. And then if you have questions, of course, you guys feel free to stop me, and I'll answer along the way. So in the product search, which is the first feature that was ever released, you can do a couple of things. The first thing up here is you can source UPC sites and products only, or you can source UPC sites and title sites. Blue is UPC sites only. Red is both. you'll notice that if I open up the websites here, it's got all of the Canadian sites, and you'll have to, don't pay attention to the blue ones. Those are ones that I've had built, okay? But if we turn on that UPC only button, then you see all the title sites get removed, and it just becomes, yes, blue or X paths. It just becomes UPC sites. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do in a product search is learn how to do a single category search. So all you do is pick a website, and then you need to put in a category. Up in the top right corner, you'll see an example URL, and you're going to want to make sure that the URLs that you use from whatever source site you're looking at, whether it's amazon.ca, staples.ca, or anything like that, you want to make sure they look similar to the example URL. Now, there are times, like with eBay, where you can have a URL that will work that's completely different than what the example looks like. So sometimes you need to play around a little bit and see what works and what doesn't work. Like for example, lots of people in the US are having trouble with toysrus.com, and it's because they're constantly changing their URL structure. So don't be afraid to play with it a little bit, but know that the only thing that's guaranteed to work is if it looks like the category example. I'm going to go ahead and just click on this one, and we'll use this as an example scan. Now, the next thing is your start and end pages. And so if you are out on a website, let's open this up here. If you're out at amazon.ca and it looks like this is going to be for headphones, typically you're going to want to see how many pages this is. Okay, and this says 400. That's as deep as you can go on Amazon. They limit it to 400 pages. So you might type in here 1 to 400, to do this entire category, or I'm sorry, yeah, this entire category of headphones. Now, you don't have to use that any longer. You can leave it blank, and Tactical Arbitrage will actually figure out where to start and where to end automatically. So, and this is especially helpful if you're building a bulk list and you don't know how many pages are in a category, because this category may have 400 pages and the next one may have 20. You don't have to go looking that up anymore.
This is such a huge time saver now.
Oh, man, it's the best. And especially for anybody who's like building and selling bulk lists, it makes things so much easier. Yeah, sorry. So start page and last page, you can leave those blank. Don't worry about them. It'll figure it out. Right here is your import bulk category list area. Now, here is where you might have up to 400, say, Amazon.ca categories. You just have them in a list, and Tactical Arbitrage will run through them automatically, one by one. It'll run for up to 60 hours at a time. Now, if you're not sure what a bulk list should look like, there are examples that you can download. You click on the Upload New File button, and there's an example here. This is for a regular bulk category list, and you can see the screenshot says start page and last page, but those are not necessary anymore. You only absolutely need the category. If you're doing a multi-domain bulk list, it's a little bit different. You need the category, and then you're going to need the domain. And you're going to want to make sure to leave off the www, no HTTP, no www. It's just Target. Well, you guys don't have Target. It would just be staples.ca, walmart.ca, amazon.ca. That's what goes over here. And you can download an example for that here. You also see that there's a full list of supported domains. You can check this out. This is actually something that a lot of people don't see and don't check out. These are the supported domains in your account. Okay. I've got a bunch of blue ones. Just don't pay attention to those. But these are all the sites that are in your account. Uh, if you upload a file, and let's say that you have 400 rows, uh, but your scan stops at 60 hours, then you can re-upload the same file, and you can start at the row that it stopped on. You can find out what row it stopped on in the settings area. You can download your last log, and at the bottom it'll tell you exactly where it stopped. Okay, so if you want to just run that over again, maybe it only went through 200 or 100 or anything like that.
Hey, Chris, do you mind if I just interject for a quick second?
Go for it.
Just because, like, I know a lot of a lot of maybe like a good portion of our members here don't even know what tactical arbitrage is. So,
Okay.
like, do you think I could maybe just take, maybe a step or two back and kind of explain like what tactical arbitrage even is and how it works and why it works?
Yeah,
Like that?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so for those of you that aren't familiar with tactical arbitrage is what I would. I'm sorry, excuse me, guys. It'll just be 1 second.
No worries.
I need a remote control cardboard. The remote control. I really need a remote control card.
I know you need a remote control card. Daddy's working. I'll be up in just a little bit, okay?
So my remote control card.
Go upstairs. Tell mommy. All right. Sorry, guys.
That's so cute. That's exactly how my 4-year-old is. I'll be on a call and he'll be like, "Daddy," I'm like, "No, I'm gonna call," and he's like, "I need help beating this level."
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But that's why we do this, right?
For sure, for sure.
Okay, so what tactical arbitrage does is it takes data from multiple sources, your source sites and Amazon, and in a matter of seconds, it figures out if the product from the source site can be profitable based on your filters by selling it on Amazon. And it does that in a multitude of ways. One, it'll go out and try to find a match manually if maybe it's something that's never been scanned before. Two, there is something called a cache. So let's say I've scanned 50 categories on Amazon.ca. All the items that I've scanned get saved into a cache for up to 5 days. If you came along behind me and you're using cache, it's going to have all my saved data in there for you to pick up even faster and see if the arbitrage possibility is there. Okay, so in short, tactical arbitrage really just does all the figuring out of arbitrage that we used to have to do manually, and it does it with, I don't know, a Watson computer instead of having to do everything with the Amazon calculator.
Right, right. And if you didn't have tactical arbitrage and you're doing online arbitrage, it would essentially be you manually going to like Walmart.ca, looking at their clearance, picking a particular item, and then going over to Amazon, checking, if the UPC matches, if the product is exactly the same, and you would kind of have to go through all of the filters and if it's a good buy or not. So
Mhm.
tactical arbitrage basically cuts down the manual work to pretty much nothing. I mean, it's still a little bit of work. It's still work that you'll have to go through once you get the results back. But it just improves your workload by like a millionfold.
Absolutely. Did that explain it enough?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
If anyone needs any additional explanation, please speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, cool. I think we're good.
All right. And seriously, guys, if you have any questions at all, stop me. I've got this down pat, so I can stop and answer questions and keep going. No big deal. Okay, so that's how you get a product or a search going. Okay, you make sure that all those things are filled in, and then you need to come down to your filters. And what your filters are going to do is, so tactical arbitrage, I try to think of it like a funnel. All right, at the we'll show a results page. This is my support account, so I don't keep anything in here. So we're going to do a live scan, and I'll show you some things. So I like to think of Tactical Arbitrage as a huge funnel. And what we do is we go to these sourcing sites and we just let Tactical Arbitrage eat everything, including the garbage. And then it filters out what doesn't fit our parameters and then only shows us what we want to see. And the way we figure what we want to see is with these filters, okay? So this first one is called source price adjustments. And this allows you to reduce store prices. Now, right before I hopped on this webinar with you guys, I shared a huge sale that's going on at Carter's.com here in the States. They're having 50% off site-wide sale. If you use the code set sale, you can get an extra 20% off over your $40 orders. Gift Cards Zen has 4% off gift cards, and Extra Bucks has 10% cash back. So you're getting stuff for like next to nothing, basically. And then you can resell that on Amazon. So I know that if you're sourcing from Amazon.ca, that's probably not going to happen. Can you guys give me an example of a store that has great sales up there often?
There's actually no real store on the Canada side where you can stack discounts like that.
Really?
Yeah, we don't even have gift cards for the most part.
So we don't have gift cards. We do have cash back, and we do like there are times where there will be a friends and family deal, like a 10% site wide off sale.
Okay.
So I mean, there are certainly we don't have it it isn't as prevalent as it is in the U.S.
Okay.
But I just like, for instance, like maybe Dixon, you probably remember this like a few months ago, maybe more than a few months ago. But Indigo had a sale where it was 20% off site wide if you spent more than up to $1,000. So I spent $1,000 and it ended up being $800 worth of items. So that's an example of being able to like input in here store price reductions, and getting results back that match that.
Okay.
The filters.
Okay. Well, that's all right. You don't have to use the store price reductions, but if you can, you should. Now, there is one important thing that you need to know. There is a certain way that you should put in these store price reductions. The box number 1 should be whatever is site-wide. So if there's a 20% off sale site-wide, it should go in box number 1. Then cash back should go in box number 2. Gift cards, if you can get them discounted, should go in box number 3. It needs to be in that particular order. Okay? So site first, cash back second, gift cards third. If you're skipping something like cash back and you just have a gift card, you can of course put the gift card in number 2 instead of number 3, and so on. Now, this is state sales tax. I'm guessing you guys have sales tax up there.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Okay. So I know that here in the States, a lot of places will allow me to use my reseller permit, and I can waive the sales tax. But then, of course, there's places like Kohl's and Target and ThinkGeek and all these other places that hate us. And so you can put in your state sales tax there for the places that make you pay those. Next is the remove filters. And this is where you start churning out the junk and getting rid of what you don't want to see. So I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the ranks and things like that on .ca, but we are going to show sourcing from .ca to .com. So in the U.S., I typically try to use average 90-day just because I like to see kind of a more holistic view of what a particular product is doing. And now, even if you use the average 90-day, you will still have the opportunity to see the current rank and the average 30-day rank. So you can kind of see a big picture of what's going on with the product.
I know there's a chart out there that that shows the BSR, like the top 1, 3, and 5% BSR
Yes.
in any one category on .ca, and I'll send that to the group after the call.
Awesome.
Right now, yeah.
Now here is something that I try to implore people to do. One of the biggest complaints that I hear about tactical arbitrage is, well, I can't find anything. Now, I know that on the .com platform, things outside of, what everybody wants in a rank still sell. And it may be that there's only a merchant fulfilled seller. Maybe the listing is garbage, and I'm sure it's the same way in Canada too. So whatever you choose for your ranks, double it, sometimes triple it, and see more, and then pare it down on your own manually. Okay. So for example, if I want to sell toys in the United States, a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to sell anything over 200,000. I actually will a lot of times try to see things that are 500,000 and below. And the reason is that if I go up a little bit higher, I might actually come across some things that are out of stock or hard to find. Maybe they only have a merchant fulfilled seller. Maybe the picture is the product thrown on someone's bedspread, and it's just a horrible picture that doesn't convert. So there's a lot of ways to, by doing a little bit of work, making money in places where others can't.
That's a great tip.
Can you do a real example? I do understand better with practical examples. Do from .com to .com. Sure, I can show .com to .com.
Dada.
Okay, so we'll source .com to .com, and we'll do a Walmart scan today. Let's see here. Keys, there we go. Okay, and we'll just, I'm not even sure what categories these are, but we'll just do one of these categories here. Buddy, you need to go upstairs.
I need my mortgage. I need my mortgage roll.
Buddy,
Car
you're
and
gonna have
have
to go,
batteries.
you're gonna have to go tell mommy Daddy's working. Hey, are you okay? Did you get your noggin?
No, it is. We need to get batteries in my mortgage roll car.
Buddy, I need you to go tell mommy, please. Thank you. Sorry, guys.
It's all good, man.
Okay. Where was I? Okay. So yeah, increase those ranks a little bit. Okay. You're going to get more, you're going to see more, but you're going to come across some things that are crazy. And I'll give an example. I can't show it to you because I don't remember the ASIN, but I happened to come across a baby monitor that was ranked about 200,000 in baby, which is horrible. I typically wouldn't sell anything probably over 100,000 in baby, but it was out of stock. I had seen that this had sold in the last month or two at $99.99, so I picked it up for $20, and I flipped it for. I actually raised the price to about $129.99, and it sold within a couple of weeks just because it came back in stock. Now, this next filter will remove products if the number of sellers is more than X. If you don't want to compete with 50 or 75 sellers, you can do that with this filter right here. You can put in 50, you can put in 75. Some people go as low as 20. I suggest using this filter sparingly. You really only need to worry about the people who are competitive for the buy box. You don't necessarily have to worry. For example, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Toyberg. Toyberg is a really big toy seller, and they don't sell anything all year until Q4 because their prices are insanely high. And then Q4 they wait till everybody sells out and they cash in. So these guys, you don't even have to worry about them anytime outside of Q4. There's a lot of people who are like that or never check their pricing, and so they're actually not competitive for the buy box. So keep that in mind before you start saying, I only want to compete against 10 other sellers, when in reality, you're only competing against the people who are competitively pricing for the buy box. You can remove third-party sellers from results. Now, this works at Walmart.com only for now. So Walmart, of course, is becoming a larger third-party selling marketplace. If you don't want to buy products from them, Toyberg is one of them. Toy Wiz is another. There are several over there. A lot of times the prices are inflated, because they are resellers. So it can be hard to make a profit. And the other thing is Walmart third-party sellers. It's still kind of the Wild West. A lot of people are selling, garbage products that you might buy on eBay and shipping them out to the customers. So you might get stuff you can't actually resell.
Chris, sorry, let me just say one quick thing about like the filters here that you're going through.
Yeah.
A lot of this is going to be very case by case. Like it's going to be very dependent on like what your risk tolerance is as well. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for me, for example, when we get to the profit and ROI, you're going to see me put in 1% for the ROI. The only reason I do that is because I want to see more, and then I'm going to go see if I can build myself a return. But some people can't do that or don't have the time to do that, and so you need to do what's right for your business.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I do.
Right. And the thing is, like, for the next one, oversized products, I know a lot of people don't want to deal with oversized products. I love oversized products for that very reason, that there's just simply less people selling oversized items.
Absolutely. I was just talking about this with my wife today. My wife, I lovingly refer to her as the shipping department. She handles most of my packing and prepping. And I was chatting with her. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to stop looking for tiny items, and I might just go after things like pack and plays and cribs and stuff like that. And she might have shot that down if I can't find a prep center that will handle it instead of her. But one of my best sales ever was actually a full size, 4.5 foot office water cooler. I was able to get like 5 of them on clearance. Picked them up for like $25 a pop. Sent them into Amazon and sold them for like $3.75 a piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love oversize. But if you're not interested in oversize, you can remove that by turning the filter off. And that's okay if you're just not interested in it. You can remove out-of-stock products. This is something that I also tell people to be wary of. And here's the reason. Number one, this does not work on every site. It works on as many sites as possible. But it does not always work, and that's not Tactical Arbitrage's fault. That is garbage in, garbage out. So the site is sending garbage info in, so Tactical Arbitrage can only give you that garbage info out. If you are using Tactical Arbitrage and you come across something that is out of stock when it's supposed to be getting caught by the filter, you can send those into support, and we will fix them. Okay? However, you also have auto update in Tactical Arbitrage now. So Tactical Arbitrage in the background will go look at a subset of your folders or all of your folders, depending on how many items you have, and it will check them on a consistent basis, anywhere from 4 times a day up to just once a day, depending on how many you have in there. And if you put some of those out-of-stock items in there, sometimes they come back in stock and they might have some really pretty margins on them. So just be wary of that. The next one is remove if Amazon contains no weight or size data. I'm sure everyone's run across this with someone who's drop shipping a product or something like that, you can remove those completely from your scans. If you do not remove them, what will happen is Tactical Arbitrage will use 1 pound and a box that is 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches, and it will calculate the return and everything based on that. The next one is remove if Amazon is also a seller and now in stock. So if you turn this on and Amazon's on the listing and Amazon actually has product in stock, it will take it out of your scan. If Amazon has been on the listing but is currently out of stock, you will see it. Use this based on your risk tolerance. I will sell on the same listing as Amazon if I can be competitive, but I know some people avoid those like the plague, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the more common questions I get. Will you compete against Amazon? And it's part reading the keeper graph and understanding the history of the product, and part kind of risk tolerance as well. Sometimes Amazon shares the buy box, sometimes they don't, and it's never a definitive answer.
Exactly. The best thing I can say is what I've noticed is, like, if they've got, if they have over 999 units in stock, it's very likely that they might have those units spread out across the country. And then, of course, you're probably going to get the buy box a little bit less. But one thing I've noticed is when they've only got, 50 or 100 in stock, I will compete with them because there's no way that their products are everywhere. And I've noticed that my family in California will have a different buy box seller than I will in Ohio. And I know that Amazon's doing that based on it. It's going to be cheaper to, ship from this warehouse to this location, or it's going to be faster and all those things. So
I just want to say one quick thing to our members here. If you guys don't understand anything, or if something's just going over your head, and you don't want to ask the questions to everyone, you can select me or Dixon, our names here, and just ask us privately, and then we can relay the question if you guys are too shy or don't want to be public about it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a good question from Nikki. I realize it's a bit late regarding removing above certain ranks. I've run several scans and there were products with rank 0. Will these be removed if I remove anything over 500,000? Yes, they should be. Sometimes they will get through, and it just depends on how you're running the scan. But if you put ranks in there, you should not see 0 ranks in most cases. All right, this next filter is remove if the number of reviews is less than X. Now, I do a little bit of private coaching for a gentleman, and he uses this filter, and he wants to see things that have at least 15 reviews, and that is an absolute hard line for him. And the reason for that, his reasoning, is he wants to see that it's been purchased enough that people have actually left reviews. I don't particularly use it, but his reasoning is sound. I get it. And then he also likes to use this rating filter. Now, this rating is based on the star reviews. You can, if you only want to sell 3-star products and higher, you can. You're also able to use a decimal point in this filter. So if you want 3.2 stars or higher, or 2.5 stars or higher, anything like that, you can do that. Remove products with an Amazon price of less than X. If you're one of the sellers who only buys things that sell for $15 or more, you can use this filter to make sure you're not seeing anything that's selling for $10 or $12. Again, I always err on the side of fewer filters, so I'm a little bit careful about these. I want to see more and do things on my own. And with the filtering that's available inside the view data page, you can get a lot of things out that you don't want to see after Tactical Arbitrage has run through everything. This next one, remove products if the Amazon title contains the words This was specifically put in because a lot of people were tired of seeing bundles. So what you could do is if you put in words like count or quantity, pack, bundle, things like that, anything with those words in the title, it will remove completely from your scans. All right. This next filter, I call it the Chris Green filter. If you guys recall, if you ever read Arbitrage from Chris Green, he talked about the rule of threes. And that was basically if you buy something for $5, it should sell for $15 because a third of the price is going to go to Amazon, a third is going to be your profit, and a third is your cost of goods sold. Well, that's what this filter does. You can remove a product if the Amazon buy box price is not at least X amount times the store price. So if you want something that's 3 times the store price or 1.75 times a store price, you put that in here and it'll make sure you don't see anything that is lower than that multiple. And then finally, this was a filter that I can't remember if it was me that asked for it or another person, but this is for seasonal buy boxes. So we've got Halloween coming up. If you want to see what Halloween candy was priced at last year, you can do that with this filter. If you go in and we'll do last Halloween. Let's say we just do the 22nd to the 31st. Apply that and turn this filter on. If we ran a scan on candy, we're going to see the average price for that date range. And we know that the average price getting close to Halloween or something like that, the prices should start to trend up, and we'd be able to see that here. You can also do this, you could do it for the past, if you wanted to see a product average price to make sure that it's not tanking or it's not going up. You can do the last 30 days, you can do the last 14 days. There's all kinds of ways to use this filter to try to forecast what might happen in the future. Now,
is this something that you would recommend using like with the Q4, Q4 upon us now, like with Black Friday and Christmas sales, maybe like November 25th and on?
Absolutely. So I actually taught a Black Friday class last year. And one of the things that I explained was people are going to purchase items on Black Friday. And let's see. Sorry. Yeah, Nikki, you should definitely read Keep a Charts after the fact. Absolutely. How long does a typical scan take to complete? That's a good question. I had someone who actually was a little irritated with me today because their scan, they felt it was going slow. It depends on a lot of factors, like how much cash you're using, and a lot of other things. Maybe nothing has been scanned in a particular category, so it just depends. But I can tell you that over the course of 48 hours, using the cache and rapid scan, I've been able to scan over 1 million items in 48 hours. Today, this gentleman had scanned 27,000 items in 8 hours. Had about 300 to look through.
What I generally tell people, like when I was, using, I have a VA now that does my scans for me, but she makes sure before she goes to bed that she enters, she has a scan going. So when she wakes up, there's a lot of results to look through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I try to tell everybody is like, even if you're not scanning during the day, at least make sure you get one going before you go to bed, and you should have stuff, the next day when you wake up or after work.
Mm-hmm.
Websites, can websites tell they're being scanned? No, not really. If we want to get technical, the Tactical Arbitrage servers use multiple proxy servers that are always switching IPs, and so they've never been blocked ever. And Tactical Arbitrage is a little over a year old. And the scans do originate from the TA server. Can we do multiple scans from multiple sites at the same time? The answer to that question is yes and no. You can do multiple scans of multiple sites using the multi-domain bulk search, but you cannot do two product searches at the same time. You could do a product search and a reverse search, or if we ever do this a third time, I can show you how to hack the wholesale search to be able to make it 3 product scans with reverse search at a time.
Might have to hold you to that.
But yeah, back to the question at point. Do I suggest using the seasonal buy box? Absolutely. I'll throw out a bolo that might happen again this year. Last year, I sold like 400 Ferrero Rocher candy packets. And the way that I found those is I was going through Christmas candy using the seasonal buy box to see what I figured they would get to if I held the price to the last week and a half of Christmas.
Nice.
And sure enough, the year before they had 4 times. They went up 4x because people like me were waiting till the last minute to get them. And so I held on to the candy through the beginning of December, and then when the price it ended up getting up to like 3.75 times the buy price. I just let them all go, and they went like, it was crazy. They sold in like a week. So yeah, that's huge. If you're selling books, and you want to go just after textbooks, this can be huge for the 2 textbook seasons when there's huge spikes in textbook sales. Memorial Day, what kind of things sell for Memorial Day? Go out, find those before Memorial Day happens, and whatever holidays might be going on. This can be really, really powerful. All right, let's move on to.
Is it possible that you'd be able to just kind of after you go through the stuff to maybe do like a blank scan, and then just kind of showing people the results from that, the before and after, what it looks like essentially once you start entering filters and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Antoinetta, yes, used books can be scanned via the library search feature. All right. The next one is source titles. You can remove if a source title does not contain. Now, I cannot remember for the life of me why this was added. I know that it was specifically asked for. I've never used it a single time, but if a source title didn't contain, I don't know.
Could it be a case where like you have a very specific bolo that you're looking for?
Could be. I'm sorry, Dan, what were you going to say?
I can jump in. This was added when there was specific sales for specific brands. So, for example, if Walmart has a Lego sale for 20% off, you can remove anything that doesn't contain Lego in the title.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's why that's there.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what you use it for. Honestly, I've just never used it at all. All right, now your costs. This is going to all be, the costs are going to be figured out into your gross ROI and your gross profit. So these are important to fill in. Now, I do have a prep center that I don't use like I should, and they charge me $1.65 per item. And they also charge me $1.65 per item to create a bundle. So I don't do a lot of those. And then your cost per pound to ship to Amazon. I use 80 cents. And that's just because that figures in my cost to buy boxes and things like that. But you can use whatever you're comfortable with there. And the absolutely important part is your profit and ROI. This will filter out any items that don't meet your profit and ROI. You can use one of them. You could use both of them. It doesn't matter. So you'll see a lot of people that only want things with a at least $5 of profit, and then they might put in 50% ROI. Guys, I don't know how you guys source, but I'll tell you something that is what I do. I actually will leave one of these blank, and it's typically the gross profit. And my reasoning for that is that sometimes you'll find something that'll only make you $1, only make you $1.50, but it's incredibly easy. You just got to throw a sticker on it, throw it in a box. Like I had some gummy bears that I used for dunnage, or there were some Werthers I would use for dunnage as well. You just throw a sticker on them, throw them in there. They make you 50 cents to $1, and I just buy them to fill out orders. Dunnage is what you place in boxes to keep everything else from breaking. Only keep data if the gross ROI is at least X. Now, you'll see a lot of people who, especially people who say, I can't find anything, this number will be 50%, 100%. We have to remember that, yes, the market is not completely saturated, but it is becoming more and more competitive. And that Amazon wants that. They want the consumer to get the best deal, and that's what happens when you increase the supply of a product and the demand stays the same. So what I do is, rather than using 50%, I will typically knock this down to 10 or 20%, and then I can make a decision manually whether or not I actually want to take the time on something. I'm happy to take a 20% ROI if that 20% means that it's going to sell as soon as it hits the warehouse, and I'm going to make $5 or $6 on it. I know it's going to flip really, really fast. And then if I see something that might take a month or a month and a half to sell, well, of course, there's no way that I'm going to let my money sit for just 20% ROI for that long. So be a little bit liberal on these so you can see more and then filter out on your own. Or like Dixon does, let your VA do it. That's even better. Okay, these other filters are also incredibly important. You can have also show no match found results. I always turn this on, and I'm going to explain why. I am selling a product that cannot be found on any of the sites that Tactical Arbitrage sources. Now, they used to be sold on those sites. That's where I found it first, but they no longer do. However, I'll show you guys a little hack about finding them other places. So if there is no match, I still want to see it because there's a possibility of profit if I do a little bit of extra legwork and go out and find the item on my own. You can also show only no match found results. I typically don't do that because while I do talk about doing a little extra legwork, I am lazy and I don't do that much extra legwork. Also show Amazon out of stock results. I always want to see these as well. If Amazon is out of stock and you can find it, you've basically got a printing press for money, in my opinion. Show only Amazon out of stock results. This one can be a little buggy, a little tricky. It's not Tactical Arbitrage's fault. It's just that people have gummed up the catalog with multiple listings for the same item. So if you use just that filter, it will sometimes find items that are out of stock, even though there's another better listing. Now, here is, in my opinion, the most important filter in all of this. Also show reverse search results for more sources. What this is going to do is I'm going to do a Walmart search with you guys. And we're going to go find the toys category rather than whatever this is. I think this might be baby diapers. But we're going to go find the toy category, and then we're going to turn on this UPC stores reverse results. And what this is going to do is not only is this going to look at Walmart, but it's going to go look at Target, Kohl's, Toys R Us, eBay, all these other sites to see if those sites have the product, and if they do, if they fit my filters. Now, the reason I do this is sometimes another site will be less expensive, or perhaps they have a better sale going on. And in your settings, you can actually set up discounts for multiple sites at the same time. And that, so that can really bring you either a better return on your investment, or find you a product that you wouldn't have found because it's now going out and looking at more sources.
Can I just stop for a second?
Yeah.
With before I forget, with the eBay thing, because I know Dixon, you just mentioned it, and as well, like sourcing from eBay. Are you sourcing from eBay, Chris? Just because I know, like, it's if Amazon asks for an invoice, then it's not the easiest thing. Like, or I've heard that eBay invoices aren't accepted.
eBay invoices are tough to get accepted. I quietly do some suspensions in my spare time, and eBay invoices can be difficult. We have actually hunted down eBay sellers, and fortunately enough, they were doing retail arbitrage to eBay, so we were able to get a retail arbitrage receipt from that seller and send it into Amazon, and that worked.
Okay.
I do not source a lot from eBay, except from Mattel, Toys R Us, Best Buy. All of those places also have eBay stores. And the reason that can be really helpful is that eBay will allow you to use eBay gift cards, which a lot of times you can get for 10, 12% off, and eBay ends up eating it, not the store.
That's a good point.
Now, I do also source some hard-to-find items from eBay, and that's because I have a little bit of a higher risk tolerance than a lot of people. So if I find a discontinued product that someone's selling for cheap, and I know that it's going for, I'll give you a good example. If you guys ever heard of a bounce bar, it goes in your dryer. It connects to the side, and you don't have to use dryer sheets anymore. Well, they sell for like $120 a pop on Amazon right now, and originally they were like $6. So
Crazy.
yeah. Pedro said, "How often will Amazon request receipts? Typically, only if you're suspended or you've got some sort of intellectual property claim against you. They're typically not asking for receipts just because you sent in product. It's typically after a problem." And invoices to get ungated. They don't accept receipts anymore, like when I got ungated in grocery. Okay, so that's the filters. Now, the last thing that you can do is, if you have a set of filters that you really like, you can save your filters. So I'm actually going to call these.
Hey, sorry, can you go over title stores?
Yeah, we can talk about title stores. What do you want to?
Just as like the last option of the filter here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, so this reverse search results for more sources. I have UPC stores chosen. So what's going to happen is, in this search that we do on Walmart, it's also going to go out to all of the UPC sites that are available to me. Now, if I choose the title stores as well, it's going to try to find matches not only at the UPC sites, but also at places that only offer title search. And you're going to get some more mismatches because that's the way title searches are. But I will tell you guys, something. Let's see here. Let me open this back up.
That's where some of the gold is found. The best
Exactly.
gold is found.
And there's a really cool feature coming out soon. There's a new image search algorithm. And Alex has talked about this a little bit, so I don't feel bad about letting you guys know. but this image search algorithm is actually going to go out to these title search sites and match products based on image searching.
Very awesome.
And it's getting like 70 to 75% positive results. So people who never search title sites are actually going to be able to go search those title sites with much more accurate results. A UPC site is a site that actually has the UPC available on the site, like Walmart, Target. You can actually pull a UPC and then search that against Amazon. Whereas a title site like this Surla table, it can only search by the title on the site. They don't actually offer their UPCs.
That's where you're going to get a lot more mismatches. But like we said, I mean, if you're willing to do a little bit more work than the next person and go through title search sites, you're going to be able to find, some gold that other people aren't even going to, because I know some people don't even look at title search at all. So
oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
definitely an opportunity. There was a good question here about the Hazmat. Chris, you want to answer that?
Absolutely. Okay, so Hazmat was a feature for a very short period of time, but it had to be removed. That information is not available in the API. That you'll notice if you guys do any retail arbitrage, it used to be available on some of the scanning apps outside of the Amazon seller app, like Profit Bandit and a few others. But the thing is since it's not in the API, it's technically not allowed. But there was a workaround, and that workaround was using a third-party database. That third-party database was not as accurate as it needed to be, and while it was a feature that everybody really wanted, it was not up to Alex's standards, and so he removed it. He's always looking to be able to bring Hazmat back in, but until Amazon puts it in the API, it's really probably not going to happen. Now, if you guys want, I can tell you how to quickly find out if something is Hazmat. There's a couple of ways to do it. One, and we'll get into this, when you're viewing the data on your view data page after we run a scan, there's a little black button that will take you directly to your Seller Central, and it'll take you directly to the page for adding the product. You'll be able to see right there whether or not something is Hazmat. So if you're looking at aerosols, if you're looking at motor oil, if you're looking at butane, those things you should probably understand are going to be Hazmat, and you can quickly check them.
Cool.
The other thing that you can do is if you're on an Amazon page and you're sitting at your computer, there's an extension that will give you a UPC in a scannable format on your computer, and you can scan that with your phone, with the Amazon Seller app, and it will tell you if it's Hazmat like that.
I have two questions, and one of them is a two-part. So first question is, so if we're just this last filter here also show reverse search results. Mm-hmm. So if we click that and we click UPC stores, does that mean that we then can't search in reverse search? That activates the reverse search module, or that is still within product search?
It's still within product search.
Awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah. So you can run a product search with reverse search. And then at the same time, you could go run a reverse search while an Amazon Flips is running, while a library search is running. And then if you want to hack it, you can go pull a bunch of ASINs with Storefront Stalker Pro. And you could do a wholesale search with reverse search turned on. And it will go and do a reverse search for even more sites.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of opportunity, a lot of money to be had there, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's some advanced level.
That's a super awesome tip, though.
Yeah.
And I was joking with Dixon. He said this is great content. Please give me the recording. I was like, no, I forgot to record, but I did record. I am recording, so I'm just kidding about that, Dixon. My other question was, can you give maybe an idea of, with both the reverse search results here for more UPC and title stores, how much, maybe just like a standard or benchmark of some sort of how much longer the results will take if these are both checked, or if one is checked, or if both is checked?
So a lot of items are going to be in the cache, so it's literally milliseconds. But typically, and this is literally how I run a scan, guys. When I'm running a scan, this is what it looks like. When I do the math, when people tell me theirs is going too slow, I'll typically see somewhere around 2,000 products an hour, which is right around 35 to 40 products a minute. So you're looking at somewhere between 2 and 3 seconds per product. And that's even with having to go out and do the calculations, manually, or Tactical Arbitrage doing them manually. So
in other words, there's no reason that anybody shouldn't have the UP stores at the very minimum checked off.
Yeah, absolutely no reason. Yeah. If somebody is having a slow scan, it's typically because you're doing a live search only, which I don't suggest. I suggest always using the cache. And if you really want to step your game up, you can use the rapid scan. You're going to miss things that are not in the cache, but you're going to be able to plow through, literally 1 million ASINs, in 48 hours.
In other words, don't tell us you can't find products from any of these scans.
Yeah, and people say, well, I'm never gonna source Walmart because it's saturated. Well, I did the entire grocery category the other week in my second account, and I've got like 3,000 profitable results to go through. So if you're using a key search, and here's the other thing: if you guys are sourcing in the United States, you guys need to make sure that you're using the keys for Walmart. It'll take you a second to go get them. You need to go to this. Developer.walmartlabs.com and sign up for your keys. And the reason being is that on Walmart.com, if you're doing a regular search, you go to Walmart and you type in coffee. They're going to give you 25 pages of results. If you take that URL and put it in Tactical Arbitrage under the Walmart UPC, the regular Walmart search, you can only go 25 pages deep in that category. And Walmart is showing you the 25 pages of items they think you're more likely to buy. However, if you're using this keys search, you actually get 100 products per page, and you can go, some categories are 1,000 pages deep. Okay? So the people who are not using the keys are literally skimming the surface of Walmart. Walmart is the second largest site on the internet when it comes to physical products. Amazon, of course, is the first. There's something like 357 million products the last time I checked. Walmart is the second largest with around 82 million unique SKUs, and that's getting bigger over time. Okay. It's developer.walmartlabs.com/member. And if you go sign up for your keys, you need to make sure not to use I don't know who you guys' typical email providers are, but Yahoo, AOL.com, those
free email providers.
Yeah, those obviously free ones will usually get you kicked out. Gmail will typically work, but it'll typically get sent to your spam. So keep an eye out. And there's not many people here. Let me see how many people we got. Oh, 51. Oh, there are a lot of people here. That's okay. I'll do this anyway. If you absolutely get rejected from getting your API keys with Walmart Labs, I will set you up a temporary cleartheshelf.com email address that you can use to get your keys, and then I will delete your email address so you can't use it again.
Cool. I have a ton of domains too, so if you guys need, I can set up emails. That's
Perfect.
very nice of you, Chris. Heather, just before we go on, Heather had a question about restricted items. Um, there's a setting in Tactical Arbitrage where you can input all the brands that are known to send out, intellectual property claims or inauthentic claims or any brands that you're restricted to sell. So you can enter that in so that when scans happen, it'll skip those.
Sorry, I just want to. I'm going to get to my my settings. I'll share with you guys what he's talking about. I just have to get past my MWS keys. Okay, so in your settings, if you go to searching, you're going to see right now I have a live only scan on. I do this for support purposes. That should really be on 5. I suggest 5 days all the time. That's what that should be. And then if you go to search filters, you can exclude categories from search. So, for example, I never want to sell Amazon Launchpad. And that's really the only thing for sure that I never want to sell Prime Pantry. So you can have those excluded. And then if you want to get a little bit more granular.
Sorry, just with that, and then also if you're not gated in a category, so you can't sell in groceries, obviously you want to check that off. Health and beauty, the ones that you're currently still gated in, you
Absolutely.
obviously don't want to waste time scanning those categories.
I'm not going to do CDs and vinyl, and I'm not going to do movies and TV either. Everything else is fair game for me, pretty much. You can do all others. Sometimes there's some good stuff in all others, but a lot of times it's garbage, but I'll look at them anyway. But then, of course, if you want to get a little bit more granular, for example, I cannot sell ASICs.
Oh, you know what? They started doing a lot of auto approvals, so you should.
I know I need to go look. And show this list here. Okay, here's something that a lot of people don't know. I'll share with you guys. A lot of people put New Balance in this brand to exclude, but something about New Balance is that typically only the current season of New Balance is restricted, and anything that is older or last season, you can actually sell. So there is still money to be made on New Balance out there if you're familiar with what the season is of the shoe. What else? Oh, you know who will slap your hands right now? Spin Master. If you're not ungated in things like Paw Patrol, heck, even if you are gated in it, sometimes Spin Master will come after you. I know Wowie has been going after people on fingerlings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a ton of them out there.
So I'm a part of just like a paid group for just higher volume Amazon sellers, and anytime we have anytime a seller in there has a notice from Amazon for an IP claim or an inauthentic claim, then it kind of gets added to the list. I've compiled that list into a Google Drive doc, which I'll post in the group later. Actually, I have it right here. I'll post it in a second. And then you guys can just go in there and add all of these brands to your like excluded list, so that you won't, that's one less thing that you need to worry about as you're going through the scans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, As Seen on TV is a really good one. Yeah, lots of them. Let's see, what else? What else was there? So that's the add brains to exclude. There was another question about settings, and I forget what it was.
Oh, there's a question about currency.
Oh,
Canadian dollar and US dollar.
yes.
When doing scans, does it automatically do the conversion?
Yes, it does. Oh, how do I do a cache scan as opposed to live search? That is up in the cache, and you can change this from a live only all the way up to from 3 hours to 5 days. And then one of the other things that you can do, and I actually have this turned on, it only works if the cache is not set to live only, but I have the rapid search turned on. So this is going to skip products that are not in the cache. Now, I'll tell you guys what I do with this is I'll go to a place like Walmart and I'll run just a single category. And what you might notice is you'll see that it's going through items really, really fast. And if you look at your log, you'll see how many items are getting skipped. If an inordinate amount of items are getting skipped, then you should turn off rapid scan and search it again, because that means somebody hasn't scanned that category in at least 5 days, meaning there might be profitable items there that nobody has seen yet. All right. I think, all right, guys, I got to turn off my screen one more time so I can save this, but it's going to take me back to my keys, and I can't show those off here.
I'll just take a minute to let you guys know that you can sign up to Tactical Arbitrage. If you use the code TRIAL10, that is my affiliate link. However, with that being said, we are offering kickbacks in terms of the 3 gift prizes that we're going to be drawing for. But you have to show up to our the next webinar, which will happen next Wednesday at 8 p.m. So the 3 gifts that we're giving. So the first prize will be a free month of Tactical Arbitrage. The second one is a Kindle, and the third prize is a $25 gift card to Amazon.
Nice. Let's see. Okay, toys and video games. Toys. You guys want to run a scan real quick, and we can look at things, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, let's do. Let's just go all action figures, maybe. Okay, so we're going to run a scan on all action figures. Now, like I said, we're going to do a keys scan. So as you can see here, there's only 25 pages on Walmart.com. And with Walmart.com, there are only 8. I think that's 45 or 46 items per page. But inside of Tactical Arbitrage, we're going to do go to Walmart keys. We'll do the action figure category. Don't have to worry about the start and end page. We'll run this completely blank so I can show you guys some of the filtering options, and then we'll see. So on Walmart, there's 46 per page, 25 pages, 46 times 25. So there should be like 1,200 items in that category. I guarantee you we get to 4,000 or 5,000 scanned really quickly. Let's go ahead and now, you know what, I'll show. I'm going to turn on one filter, and that's going to be the reverse search for UPC stores, and everything else will leave blank. Let's hit submit. If anybody needs to get up and go to the bathroom or get a drink or something, this may be the time, because we're going to let this run for like 5 minutes or so we get some nice results to go through. And we'll also see how many products are in this category.
I was just asked how do we sign up for the draw? You are automatically entered into the draw if you attend both webinars. So we have emails of everybody who's signed up to the webinar. So you'll automatically be entered. And then as soon as the second webinar is complete next week, we will post in our group for the winners.
Brian, no, I've never seen the API keys go away. The game-changing feature Nate is talking up on FBA today. Can you, hey Dan, can you link me? I must have missed that.
Sorry, what's the question?
What's the game-changing feature Nate is talking up on FBA today? Let's see.
Oh.
Let's put FBA today for Nate.
I missed that. So Dan, if you can find the link.
Oh, he just posted it? All right, let's take a look. Oh, I haven't been able to check my chat with these guys since we've been on here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to keep this one to myself. I know what it is, and it's a major badassery. If you can make it there, it's gonna be cool. But I don't want to steal the thunder, even though from those guys or accidentally have it leak, and then that those guys get irritated with me. But yeah, I do know what it is. It's gonna be cool. Okay, so we went ahead and we've got 21 pages scanned. Now there's 2,500 items to look at in the view data page. Of course, we know a lot of those are not going to be worth anything. A lot of them are going to be negative ROI and things like that. But this is how quickly it can go. Okay, if remember I had rapid scan on, so we can go over here to the log and see what it's actually doing. All right. We can see these items here: skipped, product not in cache, searched for more sources. Some items were not found. So it's finding most everything. I would imagine toys get scanned quite a bit, so I didn't think there would be a lot of skipped items. But it tells you exactly what's happening with each product it's looking at. So if there's an issue, this is the place to look. If you think something's getting skipped over, this is the place to look. Always good to just keep an eye on this every now and again. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this scan off because we're now up to 4,000 products. And you'll remember it's on page 33. You'll remember that category was only 25 pages deep. And so we're now getting into products that regular OAers can't see because we're digging a lot deeper than what everybody else can. And surprisingly few people use the API keys even on Tactical Arbitrage. So let's go ahead and stop this. Let's go look at our view data here. Now, I have everything turned on so I could show you guys everything. So the screen is much larger than it would normally be. I will typically turn off the domain because I don't care typically where I'm buying things from. However, if you leave that on, one of the cool things that you can do is if you click on this little filter right here, you can actually select places you want to see and don't want to see. Well, for example, I will never buy from bonanza.com and fishpond.com.au I can't buy from. So now I've got Shop Disney and Walmart left, and I'll hit apply, and it's going to remove everything from Bonanza. It's going to remove everything from that Fish Pond site, which knocked it down to 3,900 items. Okay, now it shows you the title, the store title. We'll show you an image. This one's broken, so that's not a good example, but you can see this image here. It's going to show you the store price. If you have any adjustments in the store price, in the filters, it's going to show you the adjusted price. It will tell you whether the item is in stock or not. Now, these all say no, and it's very likely that they are out of stock, but this data can be up to 5 days old. So this Mr. Play School, Mr. Potato Head, we can go over here, and we can see that the last time this data was pulled was, this is Australia time, so 22 minutes ago. 10:05 at 1:11 p.m. That's 1:11 a.m. So it's actually been a little while since that was pulled. So if we refresh this, we'll get fresh data. There is not a course that teaches you how to create XPaths. XPaths are great to have. I found a developer. She does it for me. It's unless you are really computer savvy, like coder savvy, it's, in my opinion, a waste of your time to try to figure out how to do it when you can either buy them from somebody or hire a developer to build them yourself or build them for you. I will tell you that a developer is going to cost you usually somewhere around $20 per site to have them build it. And then, of course, if you buy it from someone who sells them, they might cost a few bucks more.
There was the other question. Do other retailers have API keys?
No, Walmart is the only one that has an API key. Now, there are other sites that have API keys, yes. But Walmart was the only one that really needed it because of how much deeper you can go into the categories. So on Target, you get to see everything right on Target.com, all right, in the UI. Walmart is like one of the only sites that hides what they don't think you want to buy based on your searches. Okay, so I was talking about the adjusted price. We've got the in-stock button here. This will work at as many sites as possible. You've got the Amazon title, and then the buttons under here. This one is your Amazon Seller Central button. Sorry, that used to be black, now it's white. You've got your Keep a button, which if you hover over will open up a small Keep a chart. You got Camel, Camel, Camel button. And then this button here will actually do a title search on Amazon if you click on it. And then this fork-looking button will actually open up the Amazon page and the source page at the same time for you to look at them. We can see we've got the Amazon page here for the Mr. Potato Head, and we've got the Walmart page here for the Mr. Potato Head. Tell you what category it's in. It will give you the brand, and under the brand, it will allow you to exclude. If an item happens to be a mismatch, this is actually, you guys look at the pictures, this is actually a mismatch. Well, maybe not. No, actually, it looks good. Okay, I looked at another picture. So this is a match. I thought it was a different version. But if it is a mismatch, you could actually go out and search for the item. And if you find it, you can actually change the ASIN. And I doubt we're going to find any in toys. Oh, wait, here's one. Oh, wait, Dragon Ball Z. Action figure. Nope, that's good. I was hoping to find one. I'd be able to show you guys a little hack, but I'll show you here on a different one. You can also exclude the brand if you need to. Perhaps it's a brand you can't sell. Over here, you're going to see the ASIN. Then you're going to see the Amazon UPC. You're going to see the regular UPC, and underneath it's going to tell you whether or not the UPC from the source site is and matched to the UPC on Amazon. These ones that say Amazon match are like 99.9% going to be a match at all times. You've got the type of seller who has the buy box at the moment. So for this one here, we can see that the seller type is merchant fulfilled. So depending on a few other things, if I could find this at a proper price, it could be something I'd want to send into FBA. Then you get to see Amazon return after fees. This is not what you would profit. This is just what you would get after Amazon fees. Next is your return after prep and ship. So if you're putting in that 80 cents per pound, you're putting in your prep center costs, you're going to have another figure here. And then you've got your gross profit and your gross ROI. This is going to take all of those things plus your cost of goods sold into account and figure out how much money you're actually going to make. So we go over here, you've got the new sellers. This will give you how many sellers are on an item. And then you're going to notice this little microscope. This is going to take you to Tactical Edge, which we'll come and talk about in a second. Tells you what weight is on the item, the size of the product that Amazon tells you, the current sales rank, average sales rank for 30 days and 90 days, how many reviews there are, the rating, and you now have the ability to have the Keep a Graph show up on the View Data page. And then the last thing over here is the last time the data was updated. Now, you can add or delete these columns at any time. So for example, I don't want to see the domain. I do want to see the title, the product image, the price. I don't care about the adjusted price for now. I do want to see in stock, the Amazon title, the Amazon image. I don't particularly care about the category or the brand. I don't care about the ASIN or the Amazon UPC. And I don't care about these either. I do want the gross ROI and the gross profit. I want to see how many sellers. I don't care about the weight, as I'm just going to sell it. I don't care about the product size because I will do oversize. I do want to see the sales rank, the 30 and 90 days, so I can grab that holistic review or holistic view of what the product is doing, which of course you could just do with a Keep a Graph as well. I usually keep the reviews up there in case I'm looking at things like clothing. Same with the rating. I want to see the Keep a Graph, and I do want to see this last updated just to see if I need to update the data. If I click Save on that, now you kind of get everything in one nice little view here. You can also close down the menu so that everything's on one page. Okay, so this is how I keep it open. Then after that, what you're able to do is you can actually move these columns around. I'm not going to move that one. I'm actually going to put this product image over by the Amazon image. And the reason I do that is now I can quickly scroll down and look for mismatches. If something doesn't look right, I can just I can go out and find it myself or delete it if I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Now,
this is my exact kind of workflow as well. So if you guys are wondering, after you get your results, then what? What should I do? So this is exactly kind of the workflow.
yeah. Now I did a scan without any filters just to show you guys what things look like. So the next thing people always say when I do this is like, well, you didn't run any filters. That seems like a waste of time. Well, all we've got to do is you can do a couple of things. You can sort by lowest to highest or highest to lowest for each one of these. So over here, this is going to be alphabetical. This price, you can go highest to lowest. You can do in stock, out of stock. The other thing you can do is with these little guys right here, you can go in and put in the gross profit. So I now only want to see things with with a gross profit of $1 up to $100 plus. I'm going to hit apply. Now this is going to take out every single negative item for me. And we can see that this knocked the toys down from 3,900 to 578. And then after we do that, let's go ahead and just go largest to smallest. Oh, other way. Come on. There we go. So now what I have is I have it going from largest to smallest, only items that are profitable. Now the next thing you might want to do is be like, okay, Chris, that's great, but now I see some zero ranks in there. Well, here is a perfect example of why sometimes I want to see zero ranked items. This says it's not in stock, and that's fine. It may not be a match based on the not being a picture, but let's just play that this is a match, okay? Buy for $49.99. The Amazon buy box price is $784. This item sold.
Jeez, what is this thing?
Okay. Hasbro Star Wars. Looks like a San Diego Comic-Con 2011 exclusive box set. So even though this has no rank, it's probably, I bet you money this is in a wrong category. It's a toy, but it's not in the toy category or whatever. And, it sold in May. It sold in June. It looks like it sold right under the $800 price, or, looks like it sold a little closer to $700. But if I could go find this, if I could find it like for $50, I might risk it and just let it sit for 6 months to make $700. And now we'll talk about the hack. I'm going to go ahead and open this up so we can see if this is a batch or if Walmart's just messing with us. Let's look over here. Okay, so they're having issues. That's fine. All right, so we can see that this is at $775 plus shipping. Here's a hack for you guys. If you can't find the item or Tactical Arbitrage maybe has a mismatch, if you will right-click on this picture, search Google for the image, you're going to go find places that has this image. Now, you can see that the first one outside of these is Amazon. And then we've got Jedi Temple Archives. We've got another Amazon. Sometimes you're going to find one immediately. There's going to be some weird site out there that has one. Here we look, eBay. Oh, this is just posters.
This is one of my favorite hacks to find products from other places. So if there's something, board games or something that is a bolo for you, or so that, or even a replenishable item, this is certainly another way, a really good way to find where it might exist somewhere else on the web.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now sometimes you waste 10 minutes, and it's nothing. But sometimes like I'm selling something right now. It's $3 an item. It's a 2-pack, sells for like $39.99. I can only find them one place on the internet, and this is how I found them, because it's a site that I could not build as an XPath for TA. So now I do that site manually until someone scrapes it for me. And that we could talk about that too if we continue to do this as like a series or something. I'll show you guys how to go out and get sites that don't work with tactical arbitrage and hack them into tactical arbitrage. All right. So that's a great little hack. But now you're saying, hey, you know what? I really don't want to see anything that doesn't have any sales ranks. Can you get rid of those? Sure. Let's only look at things that actually have a average 90-day sales rank of something. Knock that up to 1, and we're going to go ahead and knock this down to 249,000. Let's hit apply. All right. So now we only have items that are profitable. And of course, some of these are not going to be in stock because I showed you guys that we did an empty scan. But we're going to have things that are only profitable. We're going to have things that only have an average rank number of more than 0 and less than 249,999. This would be, I know this one's not going to be in stock. This droid robot. This is a fairly new one, if I'm not mistaken. This is the one that just came out. This one was a serious bolo if you could get your hands on. Yeah, it is. The astromech droid. Is that the new one? I'll have to look at my Keep a chart. No, it's not. This one's the old one. But if you could go find one of these, that someone has it laying around for, the same price, you can make a ton of money off this. That's a great rank for something like that. And so now those filters, they work across everything. If you want to see things that are only merchant fulfilled, you can do only merchant fulfilled. If you want to make sure that you get rid of Amazon, you get rid of Amazon. You only want to see things with higher amounts of gross profit. You want to see things with fewer numbers of new sellers. There's all kinds of ways to do things in here. Let's just say we want to see items that are only in stock. Let's hit apply. Now we've got items that are in stock according to the last time this was scanned, and that are a profitable match. This one, there's no way that this one is actually in stock. This one's got to be a mistake. Let's check. That or whoever found this earlier bought, yep, that's what I thought. So this was in stock sometime today. And it went out of stock sometime today because we can see that this was last updated October the 5th at 1:17 a.m. So someone was doing some late night RA Australia time. Let's see, 1:17 a.m. would have been
noonish our time.
Yeah, and they found this item and they probably bought all of them. There may have only been one there. So, but if we hit refresh, it goes to out of stock. So the data is accurate, especially on Walmart. This item right here, I've bought this in the past from Walmart at a hefty profit. I'll bet you money someone, whoever found this, also found this. I bet you money this is out of stock too if we refresh it. Thought so. Yeah, these ones, whenever these come back in stock somewhere, they're always gone. You can also update all the data. There's 31 items in here. We can update all of them, and it will It'll go through and update them one by one and give you the freshest data, so you don't have to sit there and do that for each one. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways to parse this data and see what you want and don't see what you want.
Mhm.
And then, of course, later on down the road, if you want to see more, you can remove the filter, and now it's going to give me those couple thousand items back that we took out. Tactical Edge. Yes, let's talk Tactical Edge real quick. That little microscope is Tactical Edge. What that's going to do for you is it's going to give you some deeper data into a product. So this was that G.I. Joe National Guard fella. What we're able to see here is the ASIN, the rating, the UPC, the buy box price, the rank, current, 30-day, 90-day average, category, and then the other thing we're able to see is who are the sellers, who has the buy box, how many they have in stock. If we compete at the price the current seller has it at, so this item was $54.99. So if we compete at the merchant fulfilled price, we'd lose money. If we come up to the FBA price, we're still losing money. But we can see all of that information. Now you can click on these items here, these names of stores, take you directly to their storefront. I could storefront stalk them. Or if you have Storefront Stalker Pro, you can grab this little blue button right here, and it's going to download all the ASINs automatically into a reverse search, ready for you to reverse search their storefront. You can also download those ASINs for safekeeping and use them later.
Yeah. So that's you want to just give a quick blurb about Storefront Stalker Pro?
Yeah, absolutely. So Storefront Stalker Pro is the only extension that is an official add-on to Tactical Arbitrage. It unlocks some features inside of reverse search. You're able to go in and scan the best sellers. And when we think best sellers, we think, oh, great, we can go scan the top 100. No. With Storefront Stalker Pro and Tactical Arbitrage, you get to scan the top 100,000 best sellers. Yes, Storefront Stalker Pro works on .ca. I will, I'll tell you what, I don't typically do this, but if you guys decide to purchase it, I'm going to give you my affiliate link because Nate's a little behind on the beer money. Sorry. Yes, it will work on .ca. You can go in and do reverse, or you can do searches on Amazon itself and pull the ASINs with the extension. You can do the bestseller reverse searches up to 100,000 in the top level category. I do not have any group discounts right now, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I just don't. If you do any categories underneath the top level category, you can actually go another 3,000 deep. So if you do toys and then just action figures, you're going to get the top 3,000 selling action figures, and you can go 4 levels deep. So if you did action figures and then Gundam, you can actually grab up to 3,000 Gundam items. It also, this little blue box here where you can download the storefront ASINs, that is opened up by Storefront Stalker Pro. And then you also have the bestseller features in the library search. And if you guys do happen to buy, I have a 4-part video training series on how to properly use Storefront Stalker Pro that I can give you. Pedro, Storefront Stalker Pro doesn't build you a shopping list. It will build you a lead list. That's what I like to tell people. So, for example, I'm in the middle of storefront stalking the entire grocery category. the grocery category on Amazon.com has 700 different URLs. Some of those are 400 pages deep. Some of them are 1 page deep. I took out all the wine and the fresh meats and stuff like that. But I'm going to have 600 or so different categories from the grocery main category. I'm going to have every single ASIN in the grocery category that would be eligible for me to sell. Now, a lot of it's going to be garbage, but there's also some things that I do in the grocery category other people won't. Well, doesn't TA top scan? Yes, TA will allow you to scan for 60 hours. After 60 hours, it stops. Yeah, I would agree with Dixon. There's no reason to apologize. If you're only doing .ca to .ca, then no, it's probably not worth your time. You could go scrape them manually.
Right. But with a program this powerful, there's no reason why you shouldn't sell on .com at this point. Like, we have all the necessary services and tools to get us to sell profitably on .com. And I mean, this is online arbitrage, right? We're doing this in our pajamas, right? So we don't have to prep items. We can get sent to a prep center. Prep center will package everything up, will label on your behalf, and then ship to fulfillment center for you. So there's really no reason why you wouldn't get Storefront Stalker.
Yeah. And so what I tell people is if you plan on committing to using Tactical Arbitrage, because I know it's not for everybody, but if you are going to commit to it and spend the $99 a month on it and make it work, because I think it's just a matter of time to make Tactical Arbitrage work for you. It's not a matter of will it work. Storefront Stalker Pro is necessary.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's not a magic bullet, but it's pretty damn close. And there was like Dixon posted a message in our group was it today or earlier today or yesterday about how he spent he was on Tactical Arbitrage for 10 hours and spent 5,000. So if you guys can see, I'm pretty sure you guys can now see how that's a very realistic possibility.
I'm going to answer Aisha. Aisha, how do you manage to search so many items in grocery? I don't actively watch the logs. So here's what I do. Tonight before I go to bed, I will start a scan. And then I'll check on it tomorrow morning. And I will take the items in my view data page and I take them over to a folder called to be reviewed. And then I'll let that scan continue to go on. If it runs the entire 60 hours, at the end of the 60 hours, I will look at my log, which is under your settings here. I download this product search log, and I open it up. And it looks like a bunch of garbage. But what I could see, bear with me, let's go down. Excuse me. Oh, this was all from one category. That's right. So let's just say that this was multiple lines in a CSV file. What I could see here is it was watching this category on page 36. So I would restart it probably from page 36 to make sure it gets everything that it may have missed. Okay. Okay, where was I? Answering questions. Okay. How long should I sell on .ca before I start on .com? You hit on that. Susan, unfortunately, the 10-day trial is it is absolutely as good as it's ever going to get. Alex and Nate and myself have talked this over several times. He's thought, well, maybe I ought to offer a longer trial, but
10 days is way longer than you need. I wrote it here. 10 days is way longer than you need to make $99 back. If there's anything that's confusing, though, I've recorded this, luckily. So I've recorded this webinar. Go back and watch it 3, 4, 5 times if you need to, because this is completely full of very valuable and actionable content here. And there's hundreds and hundreds of sites in here that within a few days of running scans, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to find a profit in $99.
Yeah. I can put a video in your guys' group if you want. I did this in the Tactical Arbitrage group, but groups are important. I run groups. I know they're important. And so I posted a video the other day, and it actually took me 7 minutes to record, but part of that was loading time. But I was able to find profitable in-stock inventory that I could buy and resell in 5 minutes. And I found multiple products that were profitable, but the one product that I talked at length about, I had to buy 15 of them, and 15 of them paid for a month of tactical arbitrage. And that was literally 5 minutes. That's it. If you want to know if you can sell the product, Roy, try to list it in your Amazon account. Look it up on your Amazon seller app. It will tell you whether or not it's restricted for you. Okay. All right. Anything that I've missed or that you guys wanted me to cover?
I did want you to. Do you want to talk about Rev ROI?
Oh, yeah. Actually, how many people do we have? 43. So we've lost a couple. So I don't normally do this, but Canadians are such nice folks that I'm actually going to give everybody here a copy of Rev ROI for free.
Sweet.
Now,
thank you, man.
This link is for you guys only, and so if I see like a ton of people installing it, I'll kill it. So don't share this, please. But if you guys go to, if you go there, click clk.im/rev, small letters, ROI, big letters. You'll be able to download and install Rev ROI absolutely free. Okay?
So amazing. That's awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got plenty of videos on YouTube to show you how to use it. It's very easy. It's just
Do you want to actually just show people how it's done? It's just a click of a button.
Yeah, it's really easy. So we're here on Walmart.com. I'll type in the link again, guys. It's clk.im/Rev ROI, capital letters.
And guys, we will not be posting this link in our Facebook group. So whoever the 10 people that have dropped off since then,
you guys are out of luck.
Yeah. Chris, one thing, I will be posting this maybe like in a YouTube channel. So maybe you'll make this like a limited.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give you guys until like tomorrow morning, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just kill that link.
Yeah. So you guys are still here, be thankful.
yeah. Do me a favor, grab it now, because I'll go kill that link in the morning since we've talked about it and it'll be on YouTube. So Rev ROI is really simple. If you are on, and I just had this fixed, so hopefully it doesn't break while we're on this webinar, but if you're on a site, Walmart, Target, Kohl's, even Walmart.ca, if you click on the Rev ROI extension, it's going to pop this up here. And the first tab is cashback. Now, cashback at Walmart has always been brutal. People are like, well, I use Ebates, but they're paying like 2%, and that really sucks. And I was like, you know what? Like, that does suck. We need a better solution. And people aren't going out there and checking all these other cashback sites. So Rev ROI does it for you. And at Walmart.com, you can actually get 7% cash back at Be Frugal and Top Cash Back. Now, here is a pro tip. If you don't want to have to get cash back every month or hit limits on cash back sites, and you just want to use one, if you happen to find a site that will give you higher cash back than Top Cash Back will, you can write to them, show them the proof, and they will actually give you the same amount. Okay? So that's actually what I do. I get all my cash back from Top Cash Back. I get it in my PayPal account every single month. And if there is a company like Be Frugal or You Promise who offers a higher percentage, I write them. I say, hey, listen, you guys aren't the highest. I want it. I want the difference. And they always pay me.
That's awesome. That's a very good tip. I have like little bit of money sitting in like 10 different cashback sites. So
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that, but I didn't.
Never use the word reseller with Top Cash Back though. They haven't caught on that I'm a reseller, and they don't seem to mind high levels of volume, but just don't tell them you're a reseller. Okay, now the other part, discount gift cards. You click on this little tab here, and you can now see where the discount gift cards are best at. So Savia has 3%, and Walmart they suck for discount gift cards. Gift Card Zen is 2.3%. This is much better if we go to a site like Barnes & Noble. You're going to see things like 7-10% off, but you can see where to get the best one at. And excuse me, none of these are affiliate links, so I'm not getting a kickback for you buying through these, although that has crossed my mind.
I will say with discount gift cards, there's kind of a point of contention with the Canadian base. We're, for the most part, unable to even sign up to any of these gift cards placed just because I guess the U.S. has very stringent
Anti-money
money
laundering.
laundering laws. Yeah, anti-money laws. I have a grandfathered account with Card Cash. And I know I like Dixon, if you want to chime in, like you also tried, working, setting up VPNs and whatnot. So I don't know if you've been successful with that.
I actually just got a grandfather account also with card cash, whatever the site is.
Card Cash.
Card Cash. There we go. But I can only buy with my PayPal account funds. It won't take my US credit card with billing address, like US credit card, US billing address. It will only take USD funds on a PayPal account, which means I would have to transfer money from my bank account at a terrible rate through PayPal in order to use it. So it only really makes sense for me to do it if the gift cards are like 7% or higher.
Mm-hmm. My account, luckily, I can pay with even a Canadian credit card. But I've been using that for a few years now. But the workaround here is, if I'm sure you probably know someone in the U.S. that, if you have the cash up front, you can just get them to purchase it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's definitely well worth it to get an extra 10% on the purchases that you're making here.
Absolutely. And here's another thing that if you guys happen to know some folks in the U.S., I know a lot of guys who will get together and they'll buy like, $5,000 or $10,000 of gift cards at once. And if you call a lot of these companies, can't remember if it's gift cards Card Cash. Sorry.
Card Cash, yeah.
If you call Card Cash, they'll actually give you an extra discount for buying in bulk. So if you can join a little mastermind like that and take a piece, that could be another way to save even more.
And just to that point, because I have a grandfather account with Card Cash, maybe that's something that we can discuss just later in our group if you guys are interested. But first you're going to need to sign up with Tactical Arbitrage and use it and scan it and make sure that you're finding products to make it worthwhile to do something like that.
Exactly. Now, the coupons, It's broken right now. It's being worked on. So eventually, again, we will have coupon codes in here for different sites. Now, Walmart doesn't typically have a lot of coupon codes, but today Carter's has a ton of them. And so in a week or two, this will show you what those coupon codes are as well. So you should be able to take care of 3 layers of savings right within Rev ROI. And that's all it is. That's as simple as it is.
This has been really, really awesome. I've definitely picked up a few golden nuggets here as well. And we're hitting the 2-hour mark, and this was just supposed to be an hour and a half call. So Chris, definitely appreciate the time that you're putting into for our Canadian group here, and giving everybody our Rev ROI free. That's pretty amazing of you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I honestly do like this kind of stuff. It's I think that I really like when people can go out and do for themselves without necessarily having to work a corporate job. So hopefully this helps you guys a little bit.
That's awesome.
Any questions or anything like that? I know that everybody's got families and bedtimes and things, but happy to answer a question or two before we hop off.
Just maybe a quick thing about while we're waiting, if there's any last questions. So next week, Chris will be going through, on the next webinar, you're going to be going through the reverse search.
Yes.
And this is where you'll really be able to make use of Storefront Stalker Pro.
Yeah, I will. I'm really going to show you guys Storefront Stalker Pro in reverse search quite a bit, because if you're going to make this work, it's something you have to have. There's just too many features that you miss out on to make reverse search work really, really well.
Nikki had a question there.
After scanning, do you leave your lists in there? I'm currently deleting the items I've scanned and only keeping current winners. So I have an out of stock folder that I will put some out of stock items in that I'd really like to be able to sell, and I set up my auto updating. But typically, if it's a crap item, I delete the crap. If it's something that might be close to my filters, and it's a place like, say, Walgreens, where I know that they have sales consistently, then I might keep that and come back and look at it later when there might be a sale. No, the Walmart keys is only for .com. .ca doesn't offer it. .ca is a much smaller. The Walmart.ca is a much smaller marketplace than Walmart.com is.
Okay, just I guess a couple last housekeeping things. Get your Rev ROI keys tonight, because the link is going to be gone by the morning. Trial 10 to have 10 free days to use Tactical Arbitrage. I'm going to be posting this in a YouTube channel, and then I'll post it to the group in the morning, so that if you guys need to go over, I'm sure you guys will be going over this with all the features and all the options in here. So if no one else has any last questions, Chris, once again, I just want to say thanks for your time. This has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, hey, happy to do it, man. And I will see you guys next Wednesday at 8 p.m. We'll do it again.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Chris. Have a good night.
Have a good one, guys.